Hello, everyone. Today, we will explore one of the absolute peaks of world literature, Faust, a masterpiece that the German literary giant Johann Wolfgang von Goethe spent nearly his entire life, 60 years, to complete. This story is not merely a folktale about a man who sold his soul to the devil. It is a magnificent documentary of the soul. It follows a genius who, despite possessing all the knowledge in the world, remains unfulfilled, journeying through hell in search of the meaning of life. It follows a genius who, despite possessing all the knowledge in the world, remains unfulfilled, journeying through hell in search of the meaning of life. The condition of the contract that the protagonist, Faust, makes with the devil is extremely peculiar. If, at any point in my life, I find total satisfaction, then you may take my life. He must die if he becomes satisfied. Why? Because for Goethe, to live meant to constantly lose one's way and to struggle. Man errs as long as he strives. Es der Mensch, so long erstrebt. What does this incredibly famous quote ask of us in the modern world? Now, let us descend into the abyss of human desire, accompanied by the devil Mephistopheles, the despairing genius and the devil's wager. The story begins in heaven, where God and the devil, Mephistopheles, make a wager. Mephistopheles sneers. Humans are nothing but insect-like creatures who pride themselves on their reason. I could take even the most distinguished scholar and drag him down to the level of a beast in no time. God permits this challenge and designates a single man on earth as the target, Dr. Faust. Meanwhile, on earth, the elderly Faust sits in his study, sunk in deep despair. Philosophy, law, medicine, theology, he has mastered every discipline this world has to offer. Yet, no matter how many books he devoured, he could never reach the truth that holds the world together at its core. In the end, I've only learned that I know nothing. Overwhelmed by the emptiness of knowledge and the impatience of his dwindling life, he attempts to drink poison and end it all. At that moment, the devil appears, initially in the form of a black dog, Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles makes Faust an offer. Do not die. I will become your servant. I will show you every pleasure of this world, worlds no one has ever seen. In exchange, in the next world, you will serve me. It is a demand for his soul. But Faust is not simply seeking pleasure. From the depths of his nihilism, he slams down a challenge to the devil. Fine, but I will not be satisfied by mere pleasure. If you can truly satisfy me, if you can delude me into a moment of perfect contentment, then let that be my end. And then he speaks the words of the contract that have remained in literary history forever. If I should say to the moment, stay, you are so beautiful, then you may clap me in irons, then I will gladly perish. Defeat comes the moment he is satisfied and stops moving forward. Thus begins a journey towards death where one must never, ever be satisfied. The tragedy of Gretchen, love and sin. Having signed a pact, Faust is rejuvenated by a witch's potion, transforming into a passionate young man. In town, he spots a pious, innocent girl named Gretchen, Margaret, and falls violently in love. For a scholar who had spent his life shut away in a study, this was his first taste of love for a living human being. Through Mephistopheles' cunning stratagems and seductive artifices, preparing jewels and manipulating neighbors, Faust steals her heart, and the two are finally united. However, this love drags everyone around them into a gruesome tragedy. To meet with Faust, Gretchen accidentally kills her mother with a sleeping potion. Furthermore, her brother, trying to defend his sister's honor, challenges Faust to a duel and is murdered by the power of Mephistopheles. Unable to bear the guilt, Faust flees, abandoning her. Left alone, Gretchen gives birth to Faust's child in isolation, but driven to madness by despair, she kills her own baby. She's arrested for the crime of infanticide and sentenced to death. In the climax of part 1, Faust rushes to her prison cell. "I will save you with magic. Let's run away together," he pleads. But Gretchen, regaining her sanity, refuses him. "No, I will pay for my sin. I will submit to God's judgment." She chooses death and atonement over escape through the devil's power. Mephistopheles screams, "She is judged, condemned to hell." But a voice rings out from heaven, "She is saved. Her soul was redeemed through her repentance." However, Faust cannot save her. Carrying immense pain and guilt, he is dragged away by Mephistopheles, embarking on a journey to the next world, part 2 of the play. A pilgrimage of beauty and power, the unfilled heart. In Faust Part 2, the stage expands from personal romance to politics, war, art, and history itself. Faust travels through time and space. He serves an emperor to solve an economic crisis, commands armies in war, and even summons the legendary beauty Helen of Troy from the underworld to marry her. Yet, no matter how massive the power he wields, no matter how peerless the beauty he loves, the thirst in his heart is never quenched. The moment he obtains something, it fades, and he craves the next thing. He constantly yearns for something higher, something more complete. The words "stay, you are so beautiful" never cross his lips, even after decades have passed. Time flows on, and Faust turns 100 years old. He no longer needs the devil's magic. He is simply an old man facing death, and he has even lost his eyesight. But in that darkness, for the first time in his life, he finds a true light. The final project, an ironic end. Facing the end, the passion he finally discovered was not for his own pleasure or fame. It was a project to reclaim land from the wild sea, creating a vast, green territory where millions of people could live and work in freedom. When he immersed himself in this creation to build a future for others, he felt true fulfillment for the first time. The blind Faust hears the sound of shovels outside. He believes his orders are being carried out and that the people are working on the land reclamation. He trembles with emotion. But in reality, and this is Goethe's ultimate irony, it is Mephistopheles ordering his ghoulish spirits, the lemurs, to dig Faust's grave. However, in Faust's mind's eye, the reality of the sound does not matter. He sees a brilliant future where free people live on a free soil. In that premonition, he finally utters the forbidden words. Then, to the moment I might say, "Stay, you are so beautiful. The traces of my earthly days cannot perish for eons." As he finishes these words, Faust collapses and dies. According to the contract, his soul belongs to Mephistopheles. He has admitted satisfaction. Mephistopheles is convinced of his victory and moves to seize the soul. But at that moment, a host of angels descends from heaven, scattering Mephistopheles and his minions, and they carry Faust's soul up to heaven. Why did Faust not fall to hell? He spoke the words of the contract. He committed many sins. The reason he was forgiven is summarized in the verses sung by the angels. The noble member of the spirit world is saved from the devil. For he who ever strives with all his might, him we can redeem. This satisfaction Faust spoke of was not satisfaction with worldly pleasure, but satisfaction with the effort toward the future. He struggled and aimed higher until the very moment of his death. For Goethe, evil was not desire itself, but sloth and stagnation. The will to move forward, even while making mistakes and being covered in mud. That is the dignity that makes a human human, and it is the essence of humanity that God loved. At the end of the story, waiting for him in heaven is the soul of Gretchen, the girl he once loved and sacrificed. Guided by her prayers, Faust's soul ascends to even greater heights. The eternal feminine, das ewig weibliche, draws us upward. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We hurt others, and we despair of ourselves. but to wish to be better and to keep struggling. There is salvation in that very process. This is the testament to humanity that Goethe left us after 60 years of writing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.